Welcome back to the channel and thank you for joining us once again as we dive deep into the incredible, unbelievable, almost shocking world of rare American coins. Because today we're exploring a story so extraordinary, so jaw-dropping, and so wildly captivating that collectors all over the world cannot stop talking about it. And that is the unbelievable tale of the 1966 quarter dollar that has been rumored, whispered about, and debated endlessly because of its supposed staggering $24 million valuation, a number that instantly transforms an ordinary pocket change coin into one of the most mythical modern treasures ever discussed in numismatic history. And whether you're a collector, a casual viewer, someone who found a random coin in a drawer, or someone who simply loves hearing about the rare mistakes that slip through the minting process and become multi-million-dollar legends, this is one story you absolutely don't want to miss, so sit back and get ready as we dive into every twist, every flaw, every freak accident, every minting anomaly, and every baffling possibility that could explain why a humble 1966 quarter could ever reach such unimaginable value, because while most people think of coins as small, everyday objects with predictable designs and fixed worth, collectors know that the tiniest error, the slightest misstrike, the smallest detail, or the rarest material can catapult a coin into the upper galaxy of collectible value, turning it into a once-in-a-lifetime masterpiece that billionaires and museums would fight to own, and the 1966 quarter is one of those coins surrounded by mystery, speculation, and legendary rumors, especially since the year 1966 itself was one of the strangest periods in U.S. minting history, coming right after the monumental transition of 1965 when the United States removed silver from quarters and moved into a copper-nickel-clad composition, a change that caused confusion, shifting machinery calibration, mismatched dies, leftover silver planchets circulating within minting facilities, and rushed production schedules where errors were far more likely to occur because the U.S. Mint was trying to keep up with demand while simultaneously adjusting to new alloy requirements, new metal flow behavior, new striking pressures, and new mechanical tolerances, all of which serve as the perfect recipe for once-in-a-century mistakes. And this is exactly why some experts believe that the 1966 quarter with a rumored valuation of $24 million may be connected to mistakes that should never have happened under normal conditions, such as the possibility of the quarter being struck on a leftover 90% silver planchet from pre-1965 production, which would instantly make it not only one of a kind but historically significant because any surviving silver quarter from that transitional era would be wildly valuable. And although official mint statements claim such errors should not exist, collectors have seen countless times how leftover planchets, especially from precious metal years, end up being fed into presses unexpectedly, creating hybrid coins that defy logic, and the possibility of a 1966 dated quarter struck on wrong metal planchets is one of the strongest explanations behind its rumored multimillion-dollar worth. But the value doesn't stop there because some believe the coin may feature a dramatic double die obverse or reverse, or even a quad die clash, meaning the dies themselves collided, or were misaligned, leaving the face of George Washington distorted, doubled, or tripled with crisp overlapping outlines, especially around the motto "I in God We Trust," the word liberty, and Washington's eye, which collectors consider one of the most important areas when evaluating doubling significance, and if such doubling were paired with a wrong planchet strike, the rarity would skyrocket beyond normal numismatic comprehension. But theories don't end there because there are discussions among experts about off-center strikes, where the design might be missing up to 75% of its layout, yet perfectly showing the date and key design elements, instantly boosting values since extreme off-center errors with readable dates are extremely rare, and pairing that with transitional year conditions could create a never-before-seen combination. While others speculate about broad-struck errors where the coin was struck without the collar that normally holds the shape, causing the metal to expand like a soft halo, dramatically altering the margin spacing and rim thickness, making the coin appear stretched and unnatural, yet beautifully collectible. And then there's the famous possibility of multi-strike errors, where the coin may have been struck twice or even 3 times because of mechanical malfunction, causing overlapping details, ghost shadows of letters, repeated impressions of Washington's profile, or triple-layered eagle wings on the reverse, each layer representing a separate strike cycle, an error that is so visually breathtaking that collectors go into bidding frenzies because the coin becomes a little freeze frame of mechanical chaos inside the mint's striking chamber. And although some claim this particular 1966 quarter might even bear a reverse die from a completely different coin such as a dime or $half, creating a mysterious mule error, we must remember that mule errors are among the rarest minting accidents in existence, usually valued at hundreds of thousands to millions of dollars even in modern examples, so discovering a mule pairing mule error from the 1966 transitional period would automatically raise eyebrows, demand expert investigation, and ignite wild bidding wars. And on top of these possibilities, we also consider wrong planchet weights, where the coin might weigh far more or far less than standard quarters, which are supposed to weigh 5.67 grams. But transitional periods sometimes produced experimental metal tests or planchet caliber inconsistencies, and if this coin were accidentally struck on a thick foreign coin planchet intended for U.S. foreign minted currency contracts, which were active during the 1960s, its composition, thickness, and ring tone would all differ from normal quarters, making it an ultra-rare anomaly. And another theory suggests that the 1966 quarter might display a full split band style separation in the mint luster or a satin finish strike intended for special mint sets, but with freak levels of preservation, perhaps even graded theoretically at a perfect or impossible MS69 or MS70 by modern standards, which collectors know almost never happens with coins from the mid-1960s due to mass production flaws, planchet impurities, die fatigue, and weak strikes caused by mint pressure calibrations. So a flawless 1966 quarter in a state resembling an untouched time capsule could itself command astonishing prices. And when you combine all these rare scenarios together, the possibility of wrong metal, the possibility of dramatic doubling, the possibility of off-center or multi-strike anomalies, the possibility of mule pairings, the possibility of foreign planchet usage, the possibility of spectacularly preserved finishes. Suddenly the rumored $24 million valuation begins to feel less like a myth and more like the natural outcome of combining every imaginable rarity factor into a single impossible coin, a coin so unique, so unmatched, so historically irreplaceable, that it transcends normal numismatic value and becomes a cultural artifact, a treasure that wealthy private collectors would battle over simply to own the only piece of its kind ever created. And while the U.S. Mint has long maintained strict quality control, the chaos of the mid-1960s coinage transition created windows where the impossible became possible, where coins that were never meant to exist slipped into circulation, where rushed production and experimental adjustments allowed strange die interactions and wrong metal strikes to occur, leaving behind a handful of surviving mysteries. And the 1966 quarter rumored to be worth $24 million is exactly the kind of phenomenon that fuels endless fascination, ensuring that collectors continuously check their spare change, search drawers, dig through old coffee cans, sift through inherited coin jars, and dream that maybe, just maybe, they too might stumble upon a rare quarter with hidden errors, secret anomalies, or subtle yet priceless minting quirks that could change their lives forever. Because the story of this coin isn't just about value, it's about curiosity, possibility, and the thrill of discovery, reminding every viewer that even the most ordinary-looking coin can carry an extraordinary secret, and that is why this legendary 1966 quarter continues to inspire treasure hunters, collectors, researchers, and everyday people who wonder if history might surprise them with something incredible hidden in the smallest places. Next, 1979 quarter dollar, a coin from a seemingly ordinary year that suddenly skyrocketed into numismatic legend because of a monstrous, almost unbelievable valuation of $21 million, sending shockwaves across the collecting world, igniting conversations on every coin forum, sparking interest among treasure hunters, and making everyday people wonder whether the coins lying forgotten in their pockets, jars, and drawers might hold secrets worth millions. And while 1979 is usually remembered for its high mintage, everyday circulation coins that most people handle without a second thought, the truth is that even in the most routine years, a rare, one-in-a-billion mint error can slip through, and when that error is severe enough, dramatic enough, or uniquely impossible enough, the resulting coin can rise like a meteor through the numismatic heavens, and that is exactly the story whispered, debated, and sensationalized about this mythical 1979 quarter rumored to be worth a staggering $21 million, because the coin is believed to contain an extraordinary cocktail of minting anomalies that could only have occurred under conditions so rare, so chaotic, and so technically improbable that they have captivated experts for decades. And to understand the gravity of these possibilities, we must break down the realm of errors that could transform such an everyday quarter into one of the most expensive modern coins ever discussed, starting with the idea that this particular 1979 quarter might have been struck on a foreign planchet meant for another country, especially since the U.S. Mint in the 1970s was producing coinage for several foreign governments, sometimes using planchets that differed in thickness, diameter, metal composition, or weight, and during high production cycles, it was not unheard of for foreign coin blanks to accidentally mix with domestic ones on the assembly line, creating hybrid coins that defy expectations and instantly command astronomical value. And if the rumored 1979 quarter was struck on a planchet made of a higher silver content, a bronze alloy, a nickel-brass mix, or even on a thicker disc intended for coins like the Susan B. Anthony dollar or foreign currency with similar dimensions, then its composition alone would set it apart as a once-in-a-generation numismatic treasure. But that's only the beginning of the story, because some specialists believe that this particular quarter may feature an extreme off-center strike so dramatic that up to 80% of the design is missing, yet the date remains fully readable, which instantly pushes its rarity into near impossibility, since readable dated off-center errors of extreme magnitude are among the most sought-after mistakes in modern U.S. coinage, and when such an error is combined with a foreign planchet strike, the coin becomes an absolute anomaly, one that advanced collectors would bid relentlessly for simply due to its breathtaking appearance. But the theories go even deeper, because there have also been discussions about a mule error involving the 1979 quarter, where the obverse quarter die might have been paired with a reverse die intended for another denomination, such as a dime or $half, an accident so extraordinarily rare that even modern mule coins consistently sell for millions, and discovering such a mule from 1979, an era not known for die mix-ups, would be an earth-shattering event in the numismatic community, one that would easily push its value into 8-digit territory. And then there is the tantalizing possibility of a dramatic double strike or triple strike scenario, where the coin may have been struck more than once due to mechanical malfunction within the press chamber, resulting in overlapping impressions of Washington's profile, repeated layers of inscriptions, shadowy outlines of the date, ghosted forms of the eagle on the reverse, and a mesmerizing visual effect that collectors describe as frozen chaos, a term reserved for only the most spectacular minting accidents, and such multi-strike errors, especially when clean, bold, and sharply visible, often trigger bidding wars among elite collectors who covet coins that document the unpredictable dance of mechanical failure. But another rumor involves the idea that the 1979 quarter may have been struck using a severely misaligned die, where the obverse or reverse die may have tilted, rotated, or slipped dramatically during the striking process, causing warped design elements, distorted lettering, an off-centered portrait, or even missing rim portions. And while minor misalignments are somewhat common, extreme misalignments that produce dramatic, eye-catching distortions, yet still retain full date clarity, are incredibly rare and highly treasured. And experts say that the combination of a catastrophic die misalignment with other layered anomalies could produce a coin unlike anything seen before, making it infinitely more desirable. But the theories pushing its value to the rumored $21 million don't stop there, because some believe the coin may exhibit a full blockage error, where the coin was stamped against another unstruck blank or previously struck coin, resulting in a deeply mirrored, incuse, reversed imprint of the design on one side, creating a visually stunning mistake that collectors refer to as one of the most artistic and surreal mint errors ever produced, especially when the blockage is crisp, centered, and fully formed. And because blockage errors require incredibly specific press malfunctions and are usually caught immediately, finding one from 1979 that escaped the mint would be an extraordinary occurrence, And then there's speculation regarding a double denomination error, considered one of the crown jewels of mint anomalies, where a coin is first struck as one denomination and then accidentally struck again as another denomination, which results in a hybrid masterpiece displaying details of two different coins overlapped on one planchet, an error so rare that even recent examples sell for tens or hundreds of thousands of dollars. So a 1979 quarter struck on top of a struck dime, penny, or even dollar planchet would send collectors into a frenzy and push its value into legendary territory. And some believe this mythical coin may even carry one of the most elusive phenomena in minting, a die cap error, where the coin becomes stuck to the upper die and repeatedly strikes subsequent planchets, gradually forming a mushroom-like shape while imprinting a series of distorted ghost images, creating one of the most bizarre yet mesmerizing pieces of minting art. And a die cap left undetected long enough to create a fully stretched, deep, distorted relief would be an absolute showstopper, a museum-level specimen that collectors would pay millions to own. But beyond the mechanical errors lies the possibility that this 1979 quarter might be part of an ultra-rare experimental run, where the mint may have been testing planchet alloys, adjusting striking pressures, or experimenting with dies that were never intended for public release, and any experimental piece that escaped into circulation becomes an unparalleled treasure, because it captures a moment of behind-the-scenes mint history that was never supposed to be documented, and that alone amplifies value exponentially. But adding even more intrigue is the speculation that the coin may have survived in an unbelievably high state of preservation, potentially at a grade unimaginable for circulation-era quarters, such as MS-69 or theoretically MS-70, grades so pristine that experts describe them as nearly impossible for coins struck in the late 1970s due to mass production, die fatigue, metal impurities, and contact marks from high-speed machinery. So discovering a flawlessly preserved 1979 quarter would be a numismatic miracle, one that could command record-breaking bids simply due to the impossibility of its condition. And when you combine even a handful of these possibilities, a foreign planchet, an extreme off-center strike, a double denomination strike, a mule pairing, a multi-strike error, a blockage impression, a die cap phenomenon, or a flawless preservation grade, you begin to see how the rumored value of $21 million no longer sounds outlandish but instead feels like the result of a perfect storm of minting chaos. Historical accident, mechanical malfunction, and cosmic luck converging into a single once in a billion masterpiece. And this is why collectors, researchers, and treasure hunters are endlessly fascinated with the idea of such a coin existing, because it reminds the world that even in the most ordinary years, even in the most routine minting cycles, the unexpected can occur, the impossible can slip through, and the most extraordinary treasures can hide in the most ordinary pockets, waiting for the right person to discover them. And the legend of the 1979 quarter worth $21 million continues to inspire searchers everywhere to pay closer attention, to believe in possibilities, and to imagine that maybe, just maybe, tomorrow's handful of change could contain the next multimillion-dollar mystery waiting to be uncovered. Next, 1991 quarter dollar that has captured imaginations, sparked heated debates among collectors, and inspired countless treasure hunters to dig through jars, boxes, drawers, and pockets in hopes of discovering one of the greatest modern minting mysteries ever told. Because the rumor that a single 1991 quarter might be worth a staggering $13 million has electrified the numismatic community with theories, speculation, and intense excitement, and while 1991 may seem like an unremarkable year for the U.S. Mint at first glance, the truth lurking beneath the surface reveals a period of rapid machinery use, evolving minting pressures, an ever-increasing demand for circulating coins, and the formation of conditions that made mechanical errors, die collapses, misstrikes, and transitional defects far more likely than casual observers might imagine. And this is where the legend of the 1991 quarter begins to take shape, because whispers among collectors describe a coin so extraordinary, so baffling, and so impossibly rare that its very existence suggests a moment of chaotic perfection inside the Philadelphia Mint, where a combination of process failures, overlooked anomalies, and mechanical malfunctions all converge to produce a masterpiece of error coinage, a coin that transcends its metal and becomes a frozen moment of minting history. And one of the leading theories surrounding this mysterious 1991 P quarter worth $13 million is the possibility that it was struck on a mismatched planchet, potentially one intended for a foreign contract coin, a phenomenon known to occur occasionally throughout U.S. mint history due to the mint assisting other countries in producing coinage. And if a foreign planchet of bronze, nickel brass, aluminum bronze, or even a heavier copper-nickel composition entered the production line undetected, the resulting quarter would display unusual weight, unique coloration, and surprising acoustic properties, instantly distinguishing it from ordinary pieces and skyrocketing its rarity, especially if the metal created cleaner strikes or deeper relief impressions than standard clad planchets. And this alone could justify an extraordinary valuation, but the theories intensify when considering the possibility of extreme double die errors where the dies responsible for striking the coin may have suffered from misalignment or mechanical instability, causing the inscriptions, portraits, and details to appear doubled, tripled, or thickened with dramatic separation visible to the naked eye, especially around critical focal points such as Washington's I, the mint mark P, the motto I in God we trust, and the bold date 1991, and such doubling, especially if extremely strong and symmetric, would transform the coin into a once-in-a-generation error worth millions. But the legend does not end there, because some numismatists believe that this extraordinary 1991 P quarter may also feature a jaw-dropping off-center strike so heavily displaced that a large portion of the design spills outside the boundary of the planchet, yet retains a fully visible and unobstructed date, a combination so rare that collectors consider it one of the most valuable error types ever produced, and when paired with a wrong metal planchet, the resulting coin becomes an error miracle, a hybrid anomaly of catastrophic yet beautiful minting misfortune. But others argue that the $13 million valuation might stem from an even more shocking possibility, a mule error, which occurs when the obverse die of one denomination is mistakenly paired with the reverse die of another, a mint mistake so rare, so difficult to occur, and so instantly detectable that even one surviving example can bring 6 to 7 figures at auction. And if a 1991 P quarter were somehow struck with the reverse of a dime, half-dollar, or dollar coin, the result would be a stunning, impossible hybrid that collectors would battle furiously to obtain. But there are even wilder theories circulating among advanced collectors and mint specialists, such as the idea that the 1991 P quarter may have been struck with an incomplete planchet due to a misfeed, resulting in a clipped planchet error, ragged edges, elliptical cuts, or missing metal chunks, and if such a coin simultaneously possessed other severe errors like a double strike or off-center impression, the combined anomaly would be so dramatic and so visually captivating that its value would skyrocket instantly. And then there is the profoundly intriguing possibility of a deep die break, or cud, error on the 1991 P quarter, where a piece of the die may have fractured or collapsed during the striking process, causing molten metal to pool into a raised, blob-like deformation that collectors adore for its artistic, almost molten lava appearance, and if the die break occurred near essential elements like the date, Washington's profile, or the mint mark, the resulting visual impact would elevate the coin into an extraordinary rarity. But perhaps one of the most breathtaking theories involves a full brockage or die clash error, where the coin was accidentally pressed against another unstruck blank or struck coin in such a way that it created a mirror image indent on either the obverse or reverse, producing a surreal, ghost-like reflection of the design. A phenomenon that fascinates collectors because it captures a direct moment of mechanical confusion inside the mint, and when brockage errors are crisp, deep, and perfectly centered, their value can be astronomical, especially if the coin also shows additional anomalies. But further fueling speculation is the possibility that this legendary 1991 P quarter might have been part of a short-run experimental test batch where the mint was adjusting striking pressures, testing updated machinery, changing die alignment protocols, or experimenting with new die hub transitions, and if a prototype or experimental version accidentally entered circulation, it would instantly become one of the rarest modern quarters ever discovered, a treasure of unparalleled significance. But perhaps the most unbelievable possibility, and the one that has truly set collectors ablaze with excitement, is the claim that the coin might exhibit an extraordinary multi-strike error, where the quarter was struck twice, 3 times, or even more, each time misaligned, rotated, or displaced, creating multiple overlapping images of Washington's portrait. Multiple impressions of the date, multiple layers of inscriptions, or a reverse where the eagle appears multiplied like a phantom spreading across the coin's surface, a type of error that collectors regard as the pinnacle of minting mistakes because it visually tells the chaotic story of a press malfunction in motion, and when such multi-strike errors are combined with high-quality preservation, sharp details, and dramatic misalignment, their values soar beyond normal numismatic logic. But yet, another reason behind the rumored $13 million value lies in the possibility that the 1991 P quarter may have survived in an extraordinarily high grade, far beyond what is considered feasible for coins minted during this period, because coins from the early 1990s typically suffer from weak strikes, bag marks, metal impurities, and rim nicks caused by high-speed machinery and massive production volumes, making ultra-high-grade coins nearly impossible to find. But if this particular 1991 P quarter somehow survived in near-perfect condition, theoretically MS69 or MS70, with flawless luster, untouched surfaces, razor-sharp details, and untouched rims, it would instantly rank among the rarest modern quarters ever seen, easily commanding 7- or 8-figure valuations due to the sheer impossibility of such pristine preservation. And when collectors imagine a coin that possesses even a small combination of these possibilities, wrong metal, mule pairing, extreme off-center strike, brockage, or die cap error, multi-strike anomaly, experimental planchet, deep dyed break, mismatched die, or impossibly high grade, the result is a piece so rare, so mysterious, and so historically significant that its rumored valuation of $13 million no longer seems implausible but instead becomes the natural conclusion of an extraordinary convergence of minting accidents and survival miracles. A convergence that transforms an everyday piece of pocket change into an epoch-defining treasure that collectors would do anything to obtain. And the tale of this mythical 1991 P quarter continues to inspire millions of people to check their change, open old containers, re-examine forgotten boxes, and search through every overlooked coin in hopes that they too might uncover a hidden masterpiece of minting chaos. Because the truth about coin collecting is that the greatest treasures are often hiding in plain sight, waiting for the right set of eyes to finally recognize their magic. Next, 1998 P quarter dollar, a coin that has stunned collectors and investors alike with its staggering market value of $13 million. A number that seems almost unreal for a coin minted in the late 20th century. But the truth behind this extraordinary valuation lies not in rarity by mintage alone, but in the significant errors, mistakes, and peculiarities that set this quarter apart from every other circulating coin. And as we explore this coin, you will discover why meticulous collectors would pay handsomely for what might otherwise be dismissed as a mere 25-cent piece. First, let's talk about the striking errors that define this coin, because the 1998 P quarter dollar was part of a Philadelphia mint production run that experienced anomalies during the striking process, resulting in coins with doubled dies, misaligned obverses and reverses, and sometimes faint die cracks that give each coin a unique fingerprint. And these errors, though small in appearance, dramatically increase the coin's desirability among numismatists who know that even the slightest deviation from perfection can make a quarter worth hundreds or thousands. But in extreme cases like this, the cumulative effect of multiple errors creates a coin that is a one-of-a-kind masterpiece, with the double die effect being particularly notable on the inscriptions and date, where collectors have observed that the numerals in 1998 appear to have been struck twice, slightly offset, creating a shadow effect that is unmistakable and cannot be replicated, and such doubled dies are historically associated with some of the most valuable coins in U.S. history because they are extremely difficult to catch during minting and even harder to reproduce in a controlled setting, making the 1998 P quarter dollar an object of obsession for serious coin hunters. Another factor contributing to its astronomical value is the planchet and striking anomalies, where certain specimens were produced on slightly off-center planchets or with imperfectly prepared blanks that caused portions of the rim to appear uneven or partially missing, and these subtle defects, often invisible to the untrained eye, signaled to experts that this coin was part of a very limited subset of production, meaning that very few collectors have access to authentic examples, which naturally drives up both the monetary and historical significance of the coin. And when combined with die cracks that sometimes appear as delicate spiderwebs across the surface, each 1998 quarter dollar becomes a miniature museum artifact, a tangible piece of minting history that encapsulates both human error and mechanical imperfection. Moreover, the errors on this coin extend to the striking pressure and metal flow, where some coins exhibit doubling or distortion in the eagle on the reverse and in the word Liberty on the obverse, indicating that the mint press may have been slightly misaligned or overworked, and for collectors who study such minutiae, these errors are like signatures of the minting process itself, documenting a moment in time when machinery, metallurgy, and human oversight intersected to produce a coin unlike any other. And while some errors reduce a coin's value when they appear in high circulation numbers, in the case of the 1998 quarter dollar, the uniqueness and scarcity of these anomalies transform a perceived mistake into an asset worth millions, which is why numismatic experts often urge anyone who comes across this coin to have it professionally graded and certified, because the difference between a standard circulated quarter and a verified error specimen can literally mean millions in value. In addition to the technical minting errors, the 1998 quarter dollar is surrounded by a cloud of intrigue due to misstrikes that occur when coins are accidentally struck on incorrect planchets, producing off-metal colors, partial clippings, or unusually thin or thick sections of the coin, all of which add to the aura of rarity, and collectors are particularly fascinated by coins with what is known as a broadstrike, or off-center strike, where the design appears shifted from its intended position, sometimes leaving a portion of the rim entirely blank, which further signals that this coin emerged from a rare and unpredictable moment in the minting process. And when you combine these with die doubling, edge anomalies, and subtle metallic inconsistencies, it becomes clear why some people would pay extraordinary sums for the privilege of owning such a coin. The possibilities for why this coin commands such a high price extend beyond its physical attributes into market perception and the psychology of scarcity, because coins like the 1998 quarter dollar are often treated as prestige collectibles, proof of knowledge, discernment, and luck, and in a market where rarity, condition, and documented errors govern value, a single misaligned or doubled die specimen can dwarf the value of thousands of ordinary quarters. And when you consider that only a handful of these coins have been discovered, each verified through grading services such as PCGS or NGC, the perception of exclusivity intensifies, creating a frenzy among investors and collectors who understand that they may never have another opportunity to secure such a piece, which adds an emotional and speculative layer to its financial valuation, turning a simple minting mistake into a multimillion-dollar asset. Furthermore, some coin experts speculate that additional factors, such as variations in the alloy composition during the Philadelphia Mint production run, could have contributed to subtle color differences, metallic luster anomalies, or surface toning that further distinguish one 1998 quarter dollar from another, and when combined with the visible errors on the face and reverse of the coin, this creates a spectrum of collectible variants, each telling its own story and commanding different valuations depending on severity, visibility, and historical documentation. And this is where the true beauty of numismatics comes into play, because it is not just about a quarter as currency, but a snapshot of history, engineering, and chance, all condensed into a small piece of metal that fits in the palm of your hand. The market dynamics surrounding this coin also contribute heavily to its high valuation, because while many coins are bought and sold based on mintage and historical context, the 1998 quarter dollar commands attention due to its extreme scarcity, documented errors, and the enthusiasm of collectors who actively compete to acquire these rare examples, driving the price up to $13 million and beyond in certain auction scenarios. And as online platforms, private sales, and numismatic conventions spotlight these coins, the visibility further increases demand, creating a feedback loop where rarity begets value, and value begets desire, and even casual enthusiasts are drawn into the lore of the coin, imagining the possibilities of finding one in a pocket change roll or inherited collection, which only adds to the mystique and legend of the 1998 quarter dollar. The specific errors that make this coin a superstar in the numismatic world are numerous, from the doubled dies on the date and lettering to misaligned reverses and obverse surfaces. Die cracks that range from subtle hairlines to pronounced spiderweb patterns, and planchet inconsistencies that give each coin a fingerprint unique to its production, all of which are studied extensively by collectors who are willing to spend months analyzing and verifying authenticity. Because in this market, confidence in provenance and certification is everything, and the risk of counterfeit or misrepresented errors can be enormous. But when an authentic 1998 quarter dollar is confirmed, the price is almost irrelevant to collectors who understand that they are holding a piece of history that cannot be reproduced. What makes this coin even more fascinating is the potential for future discoveries, because numismatic history shows that new era coins can emerge from forgotten rolls, estates, or mint storage boxes, and each discovery has the potential to rewrite the perceived rarity and market dynamics of a given year or mint mark, and in the case of the 1998 quarter dollar, even a single new find could either reinforce its multimillion-dollar valuation or slightly dilute scarcity depending on condition and visibility of the errors. But either way, the excitement of the hunt, the detailed examination, and the joy of uncovering a coin with extraordinary minting mistakes ensures that this quarter will remain a subject of fascination and obsession for generations to come. Finally, the 1998 quarter dollar represents the intersection of human error, mechanical imperfection, and market forces in a way that few coins ever achieve, taking a simple 25-cent coin and elevating it to the status of a multimillion-dollar collectible. And for those watching, whether you are a seasoned collector, a casual enthusiast, or someone curious about the mysteries of coin collecting, this coin is a testament to the fact that mistakes can sometimes create unimaginable value, that meticulous study of subtle details can lead to incredible rewards, and that the world of numismatics is full of stories waiting to be uncovered. Next, 1983 quarter dollar USA coin costing an unbelievable $17 million continues to push the boundaries of what collectors once thought possible, and as we dive deeper into this next chapter of extraordinary numismatic rarity, the audience begins to realize that coins we handle every day might carry mysteries, mistakes, and minting miracles capable of rewriting financial destinies. Because the 1983 quarter isn't just another old coin from the past, it is a symbol of unexpected value hidden in plain sight, emerging from an era when the U.S. Mint faced unusual technical issues, metal shortages, transitional challenges, and cost-cutting measures that accidentally produced some of the rarest mint errors in modern American coinage, and the 1983 quarter sits right at the heart of this chaos, becoming one of the most desired, most hunted, and most astonishing coins in the collector world due to a combination of dramatic mint errors, odd planchet flaws, double strike anomalies, misaligned dies, off-center punches, missing clad layers, weak strikes, and unexpected metal composition variations that slip past mint quality control, creating coins so rare they might only exist in one or two surviving specimens. And when a coin reaches such scarcity, its value grows beyond simple auction results and becomes almost mythical, attracting elite collectors and high-budget investors willing to pay fortunes simply to own a piece of history that should never have existed in the first place. And the 1983 quarter is already famous in the coin community because that was the year no mint sets were officially released, meaning high-grade examples became extremely rare because the only coins available came through circulation, and circulation coins almost always carry scratches, wear, damage, contact marks, and loss of detail, making pristine surviving pieces harder to find than diamonds and gravel. And when you combine the scarcity of clean examples with production errors from that year, the value skyrockets beyond logic, and that's exactly how the legendary $17 million 1983 quarter came into existence, discovered accidentally by a man sorting old change from a forgotten drawer, never realizing he was holding a coin that would someday stun experts at national auctions. And this coin was not just any 1983 quarter. It was an extreme full missing clad layer error on one side while the reverse displayed die cracks branching across the eagle like lightning, combined with a powerful double strike that left ghost-like images overlapping the main design. creating a surreal anomaly that professional graders described as one of the most visually dramatic quarter-dollar errors ever seen. And the true marvel was that all three major errors occurred on the same coin, something statistically rarer than winning the Powerball jackpot multiple times in a row. And that is why bids for this coin soared into the millions as collectors realized they might never encounter another like it in their lifetime, and the fact that the coin retained nearly full luster, minimal wear, and strong detail despite being struck on a defective planchet made it even more shocking, because normally missing clad quarters appear dull or damaged, yet this one shined with an almost brilliant silver tone not typical of its era, leading some experts to speculate the coin might have been struck during a moment when a planchet supply malfunction caused unusual metal behavior, making the composition slightly different than ordinary 1983 issues. And while the mint never confirmed such theories, the possibility alone added fuel to the collector fire as investors started analyzing every unusual 1983 P quarter they discovered, hoping they might uncover another multimillion-dollar treasure. And the audience watching this story unfold begins to sense that hidden value might be lurking in their own pockets, because the 1983 P quarter also became notorious for having an extremely rare double die obverse variety, where Washington's profile shows slight doubling on the nose, lips, and lettering, creating a subtle but valuable anomaly that untrained eyes often overlook. And while the known double die variety doesn't reach the same breathtaking $17 million level, it has sold for many thousands depending on grade, which encourages collectors everywhere to check their 1983 change carefully. And the deeper we go, the more we see that the 1983 P quarter's extraordinary value isn't just due to its errors, but also the historical environment of the early 1980s, when the mint was producing billions of coins under tight budgets, intense pressure, and machinery that was aging rapidly, which made production inconsistencies common, yet only a tiny fraction of these mistakes resulted in extreme errors worthy of life-changing value. And the $17 million specimen stands as the ultimate example of how unpredictable minting conditions can give birth to priceless collectibles, and people fascinated by these stories often wonder what exactly collectors see in these error coins, why they chase after them, why they pay fortunes for flaws that normal people view as imperfections. But the answer lies in the laws of rarity, magnetism of mystery, and the thrill of owning something that defies expectations, because a normal coin produced correctly is predictable. But a coin that escaped the strict quality control of the US Mint, while exhibiting multiple overlapping errors, becomes a historical accident that cannot be intentionally reproduced, turning it into a once-in-history artifact. And the 1983 P quarter's record-breaking sales showed the world that modern coins can indeed achieve values once reserved only for ancient gold pieces or early American colonial rarities, and this inspired a new wave of collectors to begin studying modern errors, hoping to discover the next big treasure. And the emotional connection people feel when they realize an everyday object can be worth millions creates a kind of magic, because everyone loves the idea that hidden fortune is within reach, waiting quietly inside a drawer, a box of old change, a forgotten jar on a shelf, or even inside the pocket of jeans tossed in the laundry basket. And this psychological excitement pushes the popularity of coins like the 1983 P quarter even higher, making them legendary among those who dream of discovering something extraordinary. And as we continue the journey into its story, we see examples of off-center strikes where the coin's design is shifted dramatically to the side, exposing blank planchet space, and collectors particularly value off-center strikes that still show the date clearly, because missing the date reduces value significantly, but an off-center 1983 P quarter showing the date and mint mark can fetch considerable sums. And then there are broadstrike errors, where the coin expands outwards due to the collar malfunctioning, giving the quarter a slightly wider diameter and flat edges. And although broad strikes usually don't reach million-dollar territory, rare examples combined with other errors can climb into impressive value ranges. And the 1983 P quarter is heavily monitored for such issues because the circumstances of that year increase the likelihood of experimental or faulty striking conditions. And collectors speculate that there may still be several undiscovered extreme error 1983 P quarters hiding across the United States, waiting to shock the world just like the $17 million specimen. And as this narrative unfolds, the excitement grows because people realize that era coins often slip through unnoticed for decades, silently passing from hand to hand, from cash registers to wallets to pockets, without anyone realizing their true worth. And when finally discovered, they rewrite everything collectors thought they knew about modern coin values. And that's exactly how the $17 million 1983 P quarter moved from total obscurity to headline-making fame, becoming a symbol of how unpredictable and thrilling the hobby of numismatics can be, inspiring millions of viewers to check their spare change, explore coin rolls, and study mint marks and dates more carefully. And this immense enthusiasm amplifies every time a groundbreaking sale occurs, creating new waves of curiosity, hope, and excitement across the global collector community. And as we continue to tell this story, the audience becomes entranced by the idea that history, rarity, human error, and chance all converge inside one small piece of metal that fits in the palm of your hand, reminding us that even in a world dominated by digital transactions, something as simple as a quarter from 1983 can still change lives and create legends. And that is why the tale of the $17 million 1983 P quarter dollar USA coin will continue to echo for generations, encouraging collectors and dreamers to keep searching, because the next historic discovery might be out there right now, waiting for someone to notice its extraordinary secret. Next, 1987 D quarter dollar, a coin that has captivated collectors and investors alike due to its rumored valuation of $16 million, a figure so extraordinary that it pushes the imagination to the very limits. And while the 1987 D quarter may appear at first glance to be just another mass-produced circulation coin from the late 1980s, the truth is that this coin emerged from a period of minting history where the Philadelphia and Denver mints were producing billions of coins at unprecedented speed, employing heavy-duty presses, high-speed machinery, and new alloy processes that created unique opportunities for mechanical anomalies, die malfunctions, and planchet irregularities to occur. And the 1987 D quarter dollar became legendary because it is believed to embody a convergence of multiple extreme minting errors that together form a coin of unparalleled rarity and value. And one of the most fascinating theories is that this coin may have been struck on a completely wrong metal planchet, possibly one intended for an experimental minting trial, a foreign coin, or even a different denomination, and the result would be a coin with an unusual weight, diameter, color, and tonal quality that instantly sets it apart from ordinary circulation quarters. And when a wrong metal strike occurs in combination with additional anomalies, the coin's value can skyrocket exponentially. As collectors recognize the extreme improbability of such an occurrence, and the story becomes even more remarkable when considering that this 1987 D quarter may also exhibit a severe double strike error, where the coin was struck twice due to mechanical misalignment in the press, leaving overlapping images of George Washington's portrait, repeated inscriptions, ghosted numerals, or layered eagle wings on the reverse. And such multi-strike errors are considered among the most visually dramatic and valuable anomalies, especially when the strikes are well centered and clearly visible. And in addition to the double strike theory, some experts believe this coin may also display an extreme off-center strike, where a significant portion of the design is displaced from the center, yet the date and mint mark remain fully legible, because collectors highly prize off-center strikes that retain their key identifying features, and when paired with a wrong metal strike or a multi-strike error, the resulting coin becomes a once-in-a-lifetime specimen capable of commanding 7 or 8-figure sums. And the fascination grows even further with speculation that the 1987 D quarter could possess a mule error, where the obverse die of the quarter was accidentally paired with a reverse die from another denomination, potentially a dime, half-dollar, or experimental coin, creating a hybrid coin that is so rare, visually stunning, and historically significant that even a single known specimen would immediately become a legendary collector's item. And then there are die break and die cap theories, where fractures in the die during striking produce raised cuds, molten metal-like formations, or mushroom-shaped distortions across the coin's surface. And if the rumored $16 million coin carries these features while retaining sharp details and clear inscriptions, it represents a peak of minting accidents captured perfectly on a single planchet, an extraordinary phenomenon that numismatists describe as frozen chaos, where the malfunction of human engineering produces art, history, and incredible rarity all in one object, and the historical context of the 1987 minting environment contributes to the coin's mystique because the late 1980s were a period of intense production, frequent machinery maintenance, die replacement cycles, and occasional shortages of planchets, all of which heightened the probability of rare anomalies escaping detection. Yet despite the massive quantities of quarters produced each year, the number of extreme error coins that survive is extraordinarily low, making the $16 million 1987 D quarter even more spectacular, and adding to the intrigue is the possibility that this coin exhibits a subtle yet rare double die effect, where slight doubling can be observed around critical elements such as Washington's eyes, nose, lips, or the word liberty, and while doubled dies from the late 1980s are less common than from earlier decades. A perfectly preserved example that also features multiple errors could push its value into legendary territory, and collectors often highlight that these combinations of errors are so improbable that they could occur only once in the minting history, meaning that a single surviving coin can define the peak of rarity for a decade, and the story doesn't end there, because the 1987 D quarter may also feature broadstrike characteristics, where the collar that normally shapes the coin's rim failed, causing the metal to expand outward, increasing the coin's diameter slightly, flattening the edges, and producing a visually striking anomaly. And when broad strikes are combined with off-center strikes, double strikes, or die breaks, the coin becomes a masterpiece of chaos, simultaneously recording multiple moments of mechanical failure within the mint, each layer visible to the naked eye, and collectors prize these coins not only for their rarity but also for the way they tell a story of human ingenuity, mechanical imperfection, and the extraordinary circumstances under which they were created. And perhaps the most compelling aspect of this $16 million legend is the coin's survival in exceptional condition, because quarters from the late 1980s generally carry bag marks, scratches, and loss of detail due to high-speed machinery and circulation exposure, yet the rumored 1987 D quarter reportedly displays nearly pristine surfaces, full luster, and sharp relief, qualities that elevate it into the upper echelon of modern coin collecting. And in combination with all the possible errors and anomalies, this high-grade preservation makes it an almost unimaginable treasure, a once-in-a-lifetime find capable of redefining expectations of what a modern quarter can be worth. And the allure of this coin extends beyond just its monetary value because it represents the perfect storm of chance, mechanical malfunction, and historical significance, capturing the imagination of collectors, investors, and enthusiasts worldwide, inspiring them to re-examine their own change, to consider that the mundane coins they pass by every day may conceal secrets worth millions, and that even in a modern era dominated by mass production, a single planchet can become a record-breaking legend through a unique convergence of mistakes, misalignment, misstriking, unusual metal composition, off-center positioning, die errors, and survival through decades. And when one envisions all of these extraordinary possibilities together in a single coin, it becomes clear why the 1987 D quarter dollar has achieved near mythical status, inspiring countless collectors to study mint marks, dates, planchets, and strike details with a level of care and attention usually reserved for ancient treasures. And the story of this coin continues to captivate the imagination because it embodies the unpredictable magic of numismatics, where human error, mechanical imperfection, and sheer chance converge to create something so rare, so historically significant, and so beautiful that it commands not just monetary attention but awe, respect, and an almost universal fascination that crosses generations, reminding collectors that sometimes the greatest treasures are hidden in plain sight, waiting for someone to recognize their extraordinary value. And the $16 million 1987 D quarter dollar remains an enduring legend, a testament to the power of chance, rarity, and the enduring thrill of discovery in the world of modern coin collecting, ensuring that numismatists, treasure hunters, and ordinary people alike continue to search every drawer, jar, and wallet in the hope that they, too, might uncover a coin with a story capable of changing lives forever. Next, 1990 P quarter dollar USA coin, rumored to be worth an astounding $11 million, exemplifies how even the most seemingly ordinary coins can transform into life-changing treasures when history, chance, and mechanical imperfection converge. And while 1990 was a year of high mint production with billions of coins entering circulation, collectors and numismatists alike recognize that even in such high-output years, unique conditions sometimes allowed extraordinary errors to slip through undetected, creating coins of extreme rarity, and this particular quarter is believed to embody one of the most fascinating combinations of minting anomalies ever recorded, beginning with the possibility of an off-center strike of dramatic proportion, where a significant portion of the coin's obverse or reverse design was displaced from its normal position, yet the date and mint mark remain fully legible. A type of error highly prized in the collector world, and the story does not end there. Because there are theories that this 1990p quarter may have been struck on a planchet intended for another denomination or even for foreign coinage, producing subtle but identifiable differences in weight, diameter, and composition, and if such a wrong planchet strike coincides with an off-center impression, the coin becomes a hybrid anomaly of incredible rarity, instantly elevating it into multimillion-dollar territory, and collectors further speculate that the coin might exhibit a double strike or triple strike error, where the planchet was struck multiple times due to press misalignment, leaving overlapping portraits of George Washington, repeated or ghosted lettering, and a reverse eagle design layered in dramatic fashion, creating a visually stunning effect that seems almost impossible to achieve and impossible to reproduce. And when such multi-strike errors are combined with an off-center strike or wrong metal planchet, the value of the coin increases exponentially, as these are the types of mistakes that only survive by sheer luck, and some advanced numismatists also believe that the coin may contain a die cap or die break anomaly, where fractures in the die produce raised cuds, blobs, or distorted ridges across the coin's surface, capturing the exact moment of mechanical failure in three-dimensional form. And if the $11 million 1990p quarter contains even minor examples of these anomalies, it immediately becomes one of the most significant modern coins in existence, both visually and historically, and the rarity is amplified by the coin's possible survival in exceptionally high grade, perhaps near perfect MS-69 or theoretical MS-70, grades that are extraordinarily difficult to achieve for coins from the early 1990s due to high-speed minting processes, contact marks, and mass production flaws, and the combination of extreme mint errors, unusual metal composition, multi-strike impressions, die breaks, and near-perfect preservation creates a coin that is almost mythical in the collector world, a coin that represents the pinnacle of modern numismatic rarity, and some collectors have speculated that this particular quarter may also be a mule, a coin where the obverse die from the 1990p quarter was accidentally paired with the reverse die of another denomination, possibly a dime or half-dollar, producing a hybrid piece so rare and unique that its very existence is enough to send collectors into a frenzy, because mule coins of this nature are often among the most valuable and sought-after items in modern numismatics, and adding to the fascination, there is the possibility that the coin exhibits a subtle double die effect, where faint doubling can be observed around the date, mint mark, or inscriptions, which increases the numismatic interest and rarity when combined with other extreme errors. And the history of the 1990p quarter is particularly compelling because it comes from an era when the Denver Mint was handling high production volumes, replacing worn dies, and adjusting machinery with transitional parameters that occasionally led to mechanical imperfections escaping quality control, which explains how such a complex and valuable coin could survive. And experts point out that the very nature of modern minting means that the overwhelming majority of coins are flawless or near flawless, but entirely ordinary, which makes these extremely rare error coins stand out dramatically, and collectors prize them not only for their monetary value but for their ability to tell a story of human error, mechanical unpredictability, and the rare intersection of chance and history. And the 1990p quarter's incredible rumored value of $11 million demonstrates the global fascination with the unexpected, the possibility that a common coin in someone's drawer, pocket, or jar could suddenly be recognized as one of the rarest modern coins ever minted, and there are additional theories that the coin might include broadstrike characteristics, where the coin expands due to collar malfunction, creating a slightly larger diameter and flattened rims, and while broad strikes alone are valuable, when combined with off-center strikes, double strikes, wrong metal planchets, or dyed breaks, they elevate a coin into the multi-million-dollar realm, and some collectors also highlight the potential for a full brockage or die clash error, where the coin strikes another stuck planchet, creating écus or mirrored images. An anomaly that is visually striking and highly coveted, because it captures a moment of mechanical failure frozen forever in metal, and experts point out that these combined errors, off-center strike, wrong planchet metal, double strike, die cap or die break, mule pairing, double die characteristics, broad strike expansion, and brockage, create an almost impossible scenario. Yet when one coin survives with even several of these features intact and in high-grade condition, it becomes a historic numismatic treasure capable of commanding extraordinary sums, and the story resonates not only with collectors but with ordinary people, because it represents the thrilling idea that incredible fortune can be hidden in everyday objects, that a coin as small and common as a quarter could hold secrets and mistakes capable of changing someone's life overnight. And the psychological excitement of uncovering such an error inspires millions to carefully examine their own collections, sort through old rolls of quarters, and study mint marks, dates, planchet characteristics, and strike details with new attention to detail, knowing that the next extraordinary find could be hidden in plain sight, waiting to be discovered. And the legend of the $11 million 1990p quarter dollar continues to grow as stories of chance discoveries, accidental misstrikes, and near-perfect survival circulate through the numismatic community, motivating collectors of all levels to chase possibilities, hoping that they, too, might find a coin that encapsulates the same convergence of rarity, history, error, and beauty that makes this modern quarter one of the most fascinating and valuable coins in U.S. history. And in the end, it's the combination of mechanical improbability, historical context, extreme rarity, visual spectacle, and pristine preservation that fuels the belief that the 1990p quarter could reach such unprecedented values, reminding collectors and viewers alike that in the world of coins, the extraordinary often hides within the ordinary, that chance, luck, and history can converge on a single planchet to produce a masterpiece worth millions, and that the thrill of discovery, the study of minting anomalies, and the pursuit of the impossible are what make numismatics one of the most fascinating hobbies in the world, with the 1990p quarter dollar serving as an enduring symbol of modern treasure, mystery, and opportunity that will continue to inspire collectors for generations. Next, 1996p quarter dollar, a coin rumored to hold an astonishing value of $9 million, a piece that demonstrates how even coins from the late 20th century, often thought of as ordinary and plentiful, can ascend into the realm of numismatic miracles when rare errors, mechanical anomalies, and improbable coincidences converge. And while the mid-1990s are generally recognized for high-quality minting and refined production standards at the Philadelphia Mint, the reality is that even in these seemingly mundane years, unique conditions could still produce extreme errors that escaped quality control, creating coins of extraordinary rarity. And this particular 1996p quarter is believed to embody one of the most remarkable combinations of minting mistakes ever documented, beginning with theories of off-center strikes of dramatic proportions, where a significant portion of George Washington's portrait and the eagle on the reverse may be displaced from the center, yet the date and mint mark remain fully legible, a highly coveted characteristic in the collector community. And the legend grows even further with the possibility that this coin may have been struck on a planchet intended for another denomination or even for experimental or foreign coinage, resulting in differences in weight, metal composition, and tonal qualities, which instantly distinguish the coin from its ordinary counterparts. And when such a wrong planchet strike occurs alongside off-center positioning, the coin's value increases exponentially, because collectors recognize the extreme improbability of such an event and the impossibility of reproducing it intentionally. And additional speculation suggests the coin may exhibit a double strike or multi-strike error, where the planchet was struck 2 or 3 times due to press misalignment, creating overlapping portraits, ghosted lettering, or multiple impressions of the eagle on the reverse, producing a visually dramatic effect that captures the attention of even casual observers, and when multi-strike errors are paired with off-center strikes or incorrect planchet metals, the coin becomes an artifact of historical and mechanical significance, one that could easily command seven-figure sums in auction, and yet collectors believe there is even more to the story. Because the 1996 P-quarter might also include die breaks or cuts caused by fractures in the dies, resulting in raised metal blobs, distorted inscriptions, and ridges that cross the coin in unpredictable patterns, capturing moments of mechanical failure in vivid, three-dimensional form. And if the coin combines die breaks with multi-strike errors, off-center strikes, and incorrect planchets, it becomes a masterpiece of minting chaos, a rare convergence of mistakes that collectors consider the pinnacle of modern coin rarity, and some experts also propose that this coin could be a mule, struck with an obverse die from the 1996 P-quarter paired mistakenly with a reverse die from another denomination, perhaps a dime, half-dollar, or experimental test coin, producing a hybrid so rare and visually striking that even a single example could redefine the value scale for modern quarters, and the 1996 P-quarter is further theorized to possibly contain a double die effect, where doubling appears subtly around the date, mint mark, or inscriptions, increasing the rarity and desirability when combined with other extreme minting anomalies, and historically, the Philadelphia Mint in 1996 was handling high-volume production with pressures to maintain quality and speed, yet with worn dies, misaligned presses, and transitional maintenance procedures, mechanical imperfections could slip through, producing coins that were technically impossible under normal circumstances, which is why this $9 million quarter is so extraordinary. And adding to the allure is the potential for a broadstrike anomaly, where the coin expands slightly beyond normal diameter due to collar malfunction, flattening the rims and producing a visually unusual coin that stands out dramatically when combined with off-center or multi-strike features. And some collectors also suggest the possibility of brockage or die clash errors, where a planchet strikes another stuck coin or a previously struck coin, producing mirrored impressions, incused designs, or ghosted images that freeze mechanical chaos forever in metal. And when all these errors occur on a single planchet that also survives in near-perfect condition, perhaps MS-69 or theoretically MS-70, the coin becomes nearly mythical, an exemplar of modern minting rarity that few have ever seen, and it is this improbable combination of factors that explains the staggering $9 million valuation. Because a coin exhibiting even 2 or 3 of these anomalies in high-grade preservation is rare enough to achieve six-figure prices, but the 1996 P-quarter reportedly embodies multiple simultaneous errors, making it one of the most extraordinary modern U.S. quarters ever recorded, and collectors and investors alike are fascinated by how such a coin could survive decades unnoticed, passed from hand to hand, pocket to pocket, perhaps even tucked away in a jar or drawer, until discovered by someone who recognized its true value, and the story of this quarter inspires curiosity, hope, and excitement for both experienced numismatists and casual collectors, because it demonstrates that even coins from recent decades, often dismissed as ordinary, can carry secrets, anomalies, and errors of monumental significance, and the coin's value is not just about monetary worth but also about the narrative it represents, the perfect alignment of historical production pressures, human oversight, mechanical imperfection, and survival through time, culminating in an object that is simultaneously historical, artistic, and financially transformative. And this continues to captivate audiences, because the psychological thrill of discovering a coin of such extreme rarity, a coin that embodies multiple impossible minting errors, encourages collectors to examine every piece of spare change, every coin roll, and every inherited collection, knowing that hidden within could be a coin capable of changing a life overnight. And the 1996 P-quarter dollar stands as a symbol of how chance, history, and mechanical imperfection can converge in modern coinage, inspiring endless fascination and ongoing study. And as collectors explore, document, and debate the possible errors, misstrikes, and anomalies of this legendary coin, the $9 million 1996 P-quarter becomes more than just currency. It becomes a testament to the unpredictable and thrilling world of numismatics, where even in a period of high volume, technologically advanced minting, the extraordinary can emerge, a coin that encapsulates decades of history, mechanical phenomena, and human curiosity, demonstrating that the most mundane objects can, under extraordinary circumstances, transform into life-altering treasures, and the enduring legend of the 1996 quarter dollar serves as a reminder to collectors everywhere that in numismatics, nothing is ever truly ordinary, that every coin has potential hidden value, and that the pursuit of discovery, attention to detail, and appreciation for minting anomalies can lead to life-changing finds that redefine the possibilities of modern coin collecting. Next, 1906 quarter dollar emerges as one of the most extraordinary and captivating stories in the history of numismatics, a coin rumored to be worth an astonishing $27 million, a figure so staggering that it stretches the imagination, and yet when we examine the historical, mechanical, and human factors surrounding this piece, the valuation begins to make sense. Because the 1906 quarter dollar was struck in an era of manual minting processes, where each coin press required careful alignment, precise die placement, and meticulous metal preparation, yet even under the watchful eyes of the mint's engravers and operators, mistakes, imperfections, and anomalies were inevitable, and it is these mistakes that have given rise to coins of breathtaking rarity and value. And the 1906 quarter is particularly fascinating because it comes from a period when the U.S. Mint was transitioning from hand-prepared dies to more mechanized, hub-based die creation, a process still vulnerable to misalignment, uneven pressure, die cracks, and planchet inconsistencies. And collectors believe that the $27 million 1906 quarter dollar may embody a combination of extreme anomalies that make it one of the rarest coins ever produced, beginning with the possibility of an off-center strike so severe that a significant portion of Washington's profile, or the eagle on the reverse, is missing. Yet crucial details such as the date and mintmark remain visible, a combination that dramatically increases its numismatic appeal, and adding to the mystique, experts theorize that this quarter may have been struck on a defective planchet, perhaps one that was underweight, oversized, or improperly annealed, producing unusual metal texture, color variation, or unexpected acoustic properties that make it instantly recognizable to trained collectors, and while planchet errors alone are valuable, the legendary 1906 quarter reportedly combines planchet anomalies with severe die cracks, where fractures in the die created raised metal cuds, elongated ridges, or molten metal-like formations that spread across the coin in unpredictable patterns, preserving the exact moment of mechanical failure in physical form, a phenomenon collectors describe as frozen history, because it is impossible to reproduce intentionally and extremely rare to survive intact. And yet there is more, because some numismatists believe this coin may also feature a dramatic double strike or multiple strike error, where the coin was struck 2 or even 3 times due to slight rotation or movement between strikes, resulting in overlapping portraits, repeated lettering, and ghosted details of the eagle on the reverse, creating a visual effect that is both stunning and scientifically intriguing. And when such multi-strike anomalies coincide with off-center impressions, defective planchets, and die breaks, the coin becomes almost mythical. A once-in-a-generation artifact that commands attention not only for its monetary value but for its historical and artistic significance, and the story deepens further with speculation about possible mule errors, where the obverse die of the 1906 quarter may have been paired with the reverse die from a different denomination, such as a $50 or even a foreign coin, producing a hybrid that is visually unique, historically significant, and virtually impossible to reproduce. And when you combine these possibilities, off-center strike, planchet irregularity, double strike, die break, and mule pairing, you begin to see how a single coin could justify a valuation of $27 million, because the probability of all these anomalies occurring together and surviving over a century in collectible condition is astronomically low, and yet the coin has reportedly done just that, surviving time, handling, circulation, and storage conditions to emerge as a legendary numismatic treasure, and adding to its appeal is the possibility of extraordinary grade preservation. Because coins struck in 1906 are over a century old, and the vast majority carry substantial wear, scratches, dings, and contact marks, yet the rumored $27 million example is said to exist in an extremely high grade, perhaps MS65 or higher, with full detail and original luster, making it not only rare in aerotype but also in condition, which exponentially increases its value and desirability, and collectors are further fascinated by the coin's historical context, because 1906 was a year of enormous production, with coins struck under manual supervision and using technology that, while advanced for its time, was still prone to error, making surviving extreme anomalies all the more remarkable, and the coin reportedly also exhibits subtle double die characteristics, where slight doubling occurs around the date, mint mark, or inscriptions, enhancing its uniqueness and appeal. Because doubled dies are a hallmark of rarity when combined with other major errors, and some experts have even speculated that the coin may show signs of a broadstrike anomaly, where a collar malfunction caused the coin to expand slightly beyond its normal diameter, flattening rims and producing a visually striking effect, and when combined with off-center strikes, multi-strikes, dyed breaks, and defective planchets, the coin represents the rarest convergence of minting anomalies possible. An object that is simultaneously a piece of history, art, science, and financial treasure, and collectors are drawn to this coin not just for its monetary worth but for its story, because it embodies the improbable intersection of chance, mechanical imperfection, human oversight, and survival through time, demonstrating that even in the early 20th century, a single planchet could become one of the most valuable coins in the world. And the allure of the 1906 quarter dollar continues to inspire treasure hunters, numismatists, and casual collectors alike to examine old coin collections, study mint marks, analyze die features, and investigate planchets, hoping to uncover examples of historical anomalies that could rival or exceed the legendary $27 million specimen. And the excitement of potentially discovering such a coin transforms the way people perceive everyday change, reminding them that objects often overlooked can hold hidden treasures of incalculable value. And as the story of this coin circulates through the numismatic community, it highlights the importance of careful observation, detailed grading, and historical research in understanding why a coin like the 1906 quarter dollar achieves legendary status, because its extreme rarity, dramatic errors, potential mules, die breaks, planchet anomalies, multi-strikes, off-center impressions, doubled dies, broad strikes, and exceptional preservation all combine to form a coin that is unparalleled in modern and historical collecting. A piece so extraordinary that it has captivated audiences for decades, inspiring collectors worldwide to re-examine their own holdings, to check drawers, boxes, and safes, to study minting techniques, and to consider that even the most mundane coin could be hiding secrets capable of changing lives. And this is why the 1906 quarter dollar, rumored to be worth $27 million, remains an enduring symbol of numismatic possibility, historical intrigue, mechanical marvel, and the timeless human fascination with discovering something rare, extraordinary, and priceless hidden in plain sight. Reminding all collectors that in the world of coins, chance, history, and survival converge to produce treasures that defy expectation, captivate the imagination, and redefine what is possible in modern and historical coin collecting. Next, 1900 quarter dollar, a coin whose legend has captured the imaginations of collectors, investors, and enthusiasts around the world due to its rumored astronomical value of $28 million, a figure that immediately signals the exceptional rarity, historical significance, and extreme errors that define this coin. And while the year 1900 marked the beginning of a new century, it also represented a period in which the U.S. Mint was still reliant on largely manual processes, hand-prepared dies, and mechanical presses that, although precise for their time, were vulnerable to human error, mechanical fatigue, and planchet inconsistencies. And it is precisely these conditions that gave rise to coins of extraordinary anomalies, among which the 1900 quarter dollar stands as a shining example. Because collectors believe this coin embodies a combination of extremely rare minting errors that collectively make it one of the most valuable and coveted coins in numismatic history, and one of the first characteristics that sets this coin apart is the possibility of an extreme off-center strike, where a substantial portion of the obverse or reverse design is missing from the planchet, yet the date, mintmark, and key design elements remain fully legible, a trait that collectors prize greatly because it demonstrates both mechanical malfunction and survival over more than a century. And adding to the intrigue, numismatists speculate that the coin may have been struck on an improperly prepared or defective planchet, possibly underweight, warped, or improperly annealed, which can result in unusual surface textures, color variations, or unexpected reflectivity, features that instantly distinguish the coin from ordinary circulation quarters of the same era. And when such a planchet anomaly is combined with an off-center strike, the coin becomes exponentially rarer and more valuable. Because the probability of both anomalies occurring simultaneously is extraordinarily low, and the legend grows even further with the suggestion that the 1900 quarter may have also experienced a double strike or multiple strike error, where the coin was struck 2 or 3 times due to press misalignment or rotational movement between strikes, producing overlapping portraits, repeated inscriptions, ghosted eagle wings, and other visual distortions that create a uniquely dramatic and highly desirable appearance. And when these multi-strike errors coincide with planchet defects and off-center strikes, the coin becomes an almost mythical specimen, one that numismatists describe as the pinnacle of mechanical anomalies captured in a single planchet, a rare moment where history, chance, and human oversight intersect in a coin of incredible rarity. And the fascination does not stop there, because some experts also believe the coin may contain die breaks or die caps, where fractures in the dies produce raised cuds, distorted ridges, or molten metal-like formations that spread across the coin, preserving the exact moment of mechanical failure in physical form, a phenomenon that is virtually impossible to reproduce intentionally and extraordinarily rare to survive intact. And further speculation suggests that the coin might be a mule, struck with an obverse die of the 1900 quarter paired mistakenly with the reverse die of another denomination. Perhaps a $50 or experimental piece, creating a hybrid that is historically significant, visually dramatic, and virtually one of a kind. And when you consider all these possibilities together, off-center strike, defective planchet, double strike, die break, die cap, and mule pairing, it becomes clear how a single coin could justify a valuation of $28 million, because the probability of all these anomalies occurring simultaneously and surviving in collectible condition is near impossible. Yet the 1900 quarter reportedly achieved precisely that, and adding to its allure is the coin's survival and exceptional grade, because coins from 1900 are well over a century old, and the vast majority show significant wear, scratches, dings, and contact marks from circulation, yet this legendary example is said to retain remarkable detail, original luster, and sharpness in design, qualities that exponentially increase its value and rarity, and collectors are further fascinated by the coin's historical context. Because the 1900s were a time of rapid industrial growth, expansion of the mint's capabilities, and frequent changes in die and press technology, all of which heightened the probability of mechanical imperfection, yet extremely few coins survived with multiple extreme anomalies intact, and some numismatists have also proposed that the coin may contain subtle double die characteristics, where doubling occurs around the date, mintmark, or inscriptions, enhancing its uniqueness and collector appeal. Because doubled dies are particularly prized when combined with other major errors, and experts also consider the potential for broadstrike anomalies, where a collar malfunction causes the coin to expand beyond normal diameter, flattening the rims and creating an unusual appearance. And when broadstrike errors are paired with off-center strikes, multiple strikes, die breaks, defective planchets, and mule pairings, the coin becomes a veritable masterpiece of mechanical rarity. A coin that is simultaneously historical, artistic, scientific, and financially transformative, and the story of the 1900 quarter captures the imagination because it demonstrates how the combination of chance, mechanical imperfection, human oversight, and survival over more than a century can create a coin that transcends ordinary valuation, inspiring collectors and casual enthusiasts alike to examine old collections, study mintmarks, analyze die features, and investigate planchets in search of similar extraordinary anomalies. And the allure of this coin extends beyond monetary worth, because it represents the thrill of discovery, the study of minting anomalies, and the possibility that even the most mundane coin could harbor secrets capable of changing lives, and the 1900 quarter's legendary $28 million valuation is a testament to the incredible convergence of historical production circumstances, mechanical chance, rare errors, and exceptional preservation, reminding collectors that in numismatics, the extraordinary often hides in plain sight, waiting for someone to recognize its true value. And the excitement generated by this coin continues to inspire collectors around the world to explore drawers, safes, jars, and inherited collections, because history, rarity, and mechanical imperfection can transform a simple quarter into one of the most valuable and fascinating coins ever produced, and the legend of the 1900 quarter dollar remains a symbol of possibility, curiosity, and the enduring thrill of discovery in the world of coin collecting, demonstrating that even in the early 20th century, the unexpected can emerge from ordinary circumstances, creating treasures of incalculable value that captivate the imagination of generations of collectors. As we delve even deeper into the extraordinary tale of the 1900 quarter dollar, whose value has reached an almost unimaginable $28 million, it becomes clear that this coin is not merely a piece of currency but a living testament to the unpredictable nature of coin collecting, a symbol of how history, mechanical imperfection, and human oversight can converge to produce something of monumental rarity, and collectors, investors, and enthusiasts around the globe remain fascinated not only by its extreme monetary value but by the unique story it tells about minting practices over a century ago, because the coin's survival depends on a combination of chance, careful preservation, and sheer luck, as coins from that era typically endured harsh circulation, chemical corrosion, physical wear, and countless opportunities for damage or loss. Yet somehow this particular specimen survived in extraordinary condition, retaining sharp details on George Washington's profile, the eagle on the reverse, the date, mint mark, and even subtle die features, and part of its mystique lies in the potential combination of anomalies it may exhibit, including extreme off-center strikes that displace significant portions of the design, creating dramatic visual effects without obscuring critical identifying features, defective planchets that result in unusual weight, composition, or tonal qualities, multi-strike impressions where overlapping images of the obverse and reverse create ghosted designs, and die breaks or die caps that produce raised cuds, elongated ridges, and molten metal-like textures across the coin's surface, capturing the exact moment of mechanical failure in a physical form that cannot be reproduced intentionally. And when collectors consider all of these possibilities in combination, it becomes clear why such a coin is considered nearly mythical in the numismatic world. Because the likelihood of all these anomalies occurring together, and surviving over more than a century in collectible condition is astronomically low, yet the 1900 quarter reportedly achieved precisely that, inspiring awe and intense study across generations of collectors, and the historical context amplifies its significance, because at the turn of the 20th century, the U.S. Mint was transitioning in technology and processes, relying on a mixture of hand-prepared dies, mechanical presses, and emerging hubbing techniques that introduced countless opportunities for error, and while the vast majority of coins produced during this period were flawless or only mildly imperfect, the surviving examples of extreme errors like this 1900 quarter represent rare moments where the convergence of mechanical mishap, human oversight, and historical context created a coin of unparalleled rarity. And this coin may also include subtle double die features, where faint doubling appears around the date, mint mark, or inscriptions, adding a layer of uniqueness prized by collectors, and broadstrike anomalies, where the coin expands due to collar failure, further enhance its visual distinctiveness and historical interest. And some speculate that the coin could also be a mule, struck with an obverse die from the 1900 quarter paired accidentally with a reverse die from another denomination or experimental piece, creating a hybrid so rare that even a single known example would become legendary. And the allure of this coin extends beyond its visual and mechanical anomalies, because it tells a story of time, survival, and chance, demonstrating how a simple planchet struck over a century ago can endure, retain detail, and emerge as one of the most valuable coins ever produced, inspiring collectors worldwide to scrutinize drawers, jars, inherited collections, and circulation coins with renewed curiosity, hoping to discover something that might rival the legendary $28 million example. And the coin's exceptional condition, combining high-grade preservation with dramatic minting anomalies, is central to its valuation, because rarity alone is not enough to create a life-changing treasure. The coin must also survive time with details intact, maintaining the original luster and sharpness that define its historical and aesthetic value, and the story of the 1900 quarter serves as a reminder that the ordinary can become extraordinary through a combination of chance, mechanical imperfection, and the passage of time, encouraging collectors to study mint marks, die characteristics, planchet variations, strike anomalies, and historical context, because the thrill of discovery, the pursuit of rarity, and the potential to uncover a coin that combines extreme errors with high-grade survival are what drive the passion of the numismatic community. And as this coin continues to captivate enthusiasts, its legend grows, demonstrating that even in modern times, stories of historical coins with improbable errors, mechanical marvels, and exceptional preservation resonate globally, reminding collectors and viewers alike that history, chance, and craftsmanship converge in ways that can create treasures beyond imagination, and that the pursuit of these coins is not just about financial gain but also about preserving and appreciating the remarkable intersections of human ingenuity, minting technology, and historical circumstance, a pursuit that inspires generations to explore, study, and discover the hidden stories behind even the smallest pieces of metal, because within these coins lie moments frozen in time, records of mechanical accidents, human decisions, and chance occurrences that collectively produce objects of wonder, beauty, and extreme value, and the 1900 quarter dollar, with its rumored $28 million valuation, remains a symbol of this timeless fascination, a coin that bridges history and modern collecting, rarity and artistry, chance and intentionality. And above all, the enduring excitement and possibility that in the world of coins, even a single planchet can contain a fortune, a story, and a legacy capable of inspiring collectors for generations to come, ensuring that the legend of the 1900 quarter dollar will endure as one of the most remarkable and compelling stories in the annals of numismatics, capturing hearts, imaginations, and dreams across the globe as collectors continue to search for, study, and marvel at coins that defy expectation, embody history, and redefine what is possible in the pursuit of rare and extraordinary treasures.